My name is Ms. Lam Fong Sin, and I'm presenting to today's study, analyzing post-disaster reconstruction network correlation, the case of Malaysia rural housing. Malaysia, we're lucky we only have our monsoon, but it's very devastating. But this year we are lucky that we don't have a major flood. The housing reconstruction, it's a very complex process, and also it involves a lot of stakeholders. And in order to increase collaboration and communication and information sharing, we use social network analysis to understand the social characteristic and also the organization characteristics of the post-disaster, disaster reconstruction. So in the past, researchers have linked social network with communication. So you can see here during disaster, there's a more sparse network compared to pre-disaster and also post-disaster when everything returns to original. So the denser the network means it's better. The actors are sharing information well, and they're connected to each other well. But in a sparse network during disaster, some of the actors are periphery. They could be isolated, but they may have good resources. Then therefore they should be included in the network. So these are the past analysis in analyzing the central actors and the peripheral actors, and also those who are influential in the decision-making process for disaster. So the objective study is to evaluate the roles of and structural position of each stakeholder and the degree of connectivity, centrality, and level of influence within the housing reconstruction network in Malaysia. So this is a study area in the Malo. It's a central Pahang. This is our methodology. We carry out, we interview 23 stakeholders, and the actors, the nodes, and we ask them who they collaborate with during the disaster reconstruction, housing reconstruction, and also what are the information exchange in terms of project management, design, the safety building design of the house, and also the resource allocation for the money that comes in to fund the housing reconstruction. So with all the actors, we put them as a node, and the ties are the one that links them together. We analyze using the GAFI social network program. So in this program, so this what we found. So we did 3 case study. So this is the first case study, which is the government driven house reconstruction. So you can see that in here. So also here, so to compare the 3 case studies together, we can see that we did 3 case study. One is the government-driven network. Another one is the king that donated houses to selected community in the area Pahang, and also a donor-driven network, which is led by NGO. So we see that it's dense. The King Majesty, it's dense, highest density compared to the government-driven network, which means if it's 0, means the actors are not connected together. But if it's 1, means all the actors are connected together. So with the mean degree centrality is the actors that has the most link that's most connected to each other. And again, because it's led by the government and also contributed by the king, so we would expect that the king will, the administration staff of the king oversees the whole project, and also everyone is paying great detail and attention to the work. Also, the betweenness centrality is a measure of it's a measure of how influential the actor is, or what the brokerage role that the actor can play in the housing and reconstruction network. Also, the last one is the mean closeness centrality. It measures how close, how the shortest path that the one actor can communicate with another. So if it's very close, you can see the donor-driven network led by NGO has the highest closest centrality, because he will be the one who is who be the contractor, because it's a community-based network. So he's the one who will who informally he will contact the contractor, which are also from the community, and also he will be the one very close to the homeowner themselves. So you can see here that the highest centrality for the government-driven network, because it's still top-down, so we can see that the Rural Ministry Housing, which is their KPLB, and also has the highest centrality, which means it has the highest power to distribute funds and also mobilize resources. And the second highest centrality is from the local government, which is the PLB Tamalo. Although both are government agency, but the PLB has more connection to more diverse stakeholders. So the PLB will connect with the contractor and also will liaise with the contractor to carry out the repair work and the reconstruction of the housing. And also the local government has also connection with the village head. But when the Ministry of Housing has no connection with the other stakeholders. So which is good sometimes, because the needs of the people can be heard. Also, you can see here that the Ministry of Work are the one who will design the house. So they will come and do the preliminary damage assessment also, and they report to the government local authority also. So most of the actors in the government-led network, they are government agencies. It's only contractor, also selected by the traditional procurement, selected by ballot voting, and also the village head is the only community actor that is in the government-led network. So here, the staff centrality and so between centrality, and also because he is the one who directly reports to the king, and also he will be the one who channel the fund to the contractors to rebuild the home. Also, you can see that this is a philanthropic effort by our king and the queen of Malaysia. So with the same concept. So
sorry, you have to round up soon. You have 1 minute more.
Okay, yeah. So they will, so with the multinational enterprise, they can also carry out philanthropic activities in disaster relief, because the house can be built in a very fast time, in a quick time, in a short frame. So it is good network, and also very dense. So there's a lot of collaboration also, but this is the only network where the community are participating in the has say, because the other network, they do not allow the homeowners to suggest what they want to use. On the community-driven network, the community can participate in the reconstruction, also supervision, and also in changing new material. But sadly, they are poor, so they don't change the materials. So here is the conclusion. So we demonstrated that we can use social network analysis to map the post-disaster housing reconstruction. It can be represented as a governance of network of relationship between the funders, the central network actors, the consultants, and the contractors. The government-led network has no participation from the public or the civil organization except the wage head. But at the same time, the community housing reconstruction do not have government involvement also. That's the end of my presentation.
All right, thank you very much for that presentation. That's on post-disaster reconstruction network. All right, the audience, do we have questions? Or are there any comments about the presentation? While we're waiting for that, I want to ask the presenter, in the network, were there any contribution of public-private organizations?
Yes, there is commercial banks who contributed, who gave the money, CIMB Bank, who gave the money to the NGO. Yeah, about USD, about 5,000 USD. That's the only one that's private. Also his friends and families members. Yeah,
okay,
and then
that
key embassy wanted
the government and the users.
Sorry?
That's the government and the users.
Sorry, the government
and the family.
Yeah, the family and the close friends of the NGO, the class care.
Okay.
Mm.
Then another question, which is more important? Is it the communication between the stakeholders or the pre-established partnerships that they have? But what does your research show about that? That is the partnerships that the stakeholders have before the crisis that necessitated the post-disaster housing.
Yeah, we only interview them what sort of information exchange they carry out during the reconstruction, but not before construction, before disaster strikes.
Oh, okay, okay. So after this research, is there going to be a follow-up research or action?
Yes, because sometimes the community would like to have update because they are waiting for their turn to have repair. The government it's wonderful. They repair every year, but then again the following flood will be destroyed. So the government also want to be more sustainable rather than rebuild again. So they are looking to relocate the house, but also there's a lot of resistance for them to relocate. So also in order to make this process smooth, we can involve because we intend to have like a technology or any agile software to connect the government with the people of the community so that they know what are the timeline, when is it approved, the approval processes, or what is needed to the funds, when will come in, the deadlines, and so that they're aware. They may not receive it immediately, but at least they have been informed. So that's the next part that we would like to do.
Okay, that's actually, you know, translating the research into some kind of practical action. Are you going to do some study on that too?
Yes, I'm because I would like to use a coaching method to encourage stakeholders to engage, especially government. Sometimes they also on those agile software like Jive, collaboration software. It's a free software that can also be that's a Malay language. They have a Malay translated language in that software. So I'm trying to promote and get the stakeholders to get involved, so that they know what forms to fill up, or when they're gonna get the repair work done, and so forth. So there's increased collaboration. Yeah, because a lot of times we use a social network, but then it kind of stop there. We know who are the need to have some concrete action, so that the communities are not marginalized and they have a say in their reconstruction of their own homes, and to protect, also to be more resilient in the next flood.
Okay, thank you very much for that presentation.
Thanks, bro.
Do we have any other questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, in your research just now, you had rural housing. What would be your interpretation of rural housing relevant to demography?
It'll be kampung, where they have ketua kampung, tok empat. So those are the rural housing, and also I also just got a research grant, the FRGS, on Selangor area. So it will be different from the city and the kampung, the village housing, because the damage will also be different, because some of the villages are built in low inundated area, like low valley, so it's next to the river. But of course, in the city we have Sri Muda, which is also next to a river, something similar, but they are city dwellers, and these are kampung dwellers. And they may not recover as fast because the limited resources. Yeah.
Okay. Are you satisfied with the answer?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other comment or question? Well, if there are no other comments, we'll go to the second presentation. Thank you, the first presenter.
Thank you.
Let's see the second presentation. The first presenter, thank you. We'll take the second presentation, which is RE003, the provision of post-flood housing reconstruction in Kuala Krai, Kelantan.
Hello, hi, can you see my slide?
Yes, I can see your slide. Does everybody else, can we all see this slide? Hello?
Yep.
Can we all see her slide?
Slide's fine.
Okay, all right. So before I start, I have a bit of coughing, so I hope that doesn't bother anyone. So just bear with me for a while. Okay.
Sorry.
May I start
you
now,
have
Prof?
10 minutes
to
present.
All right. My name is Nurul Hana Hanafi. On behalf of our team members, Juliza Muhammad and Dr. Hafizah Anwar, and also Dr. Wenxiao Chang, I would like to present our research entitled Provision of Post-Flood Housing Reconstruction in Kuala Krai, Kelantan.
Sorry, a fast question. Is your international author present?
He won't be able to make it today. Sorry.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Let's
Okay.
go on.
Yeah. The provision and also the versus local housing practices. All right. So losing a house in a disaster is undeniably distressing, especially in developing countries and also in rural areas, whereby these people normally would require external assistance to rebuild their house, for example, from government and also from other agencies. And these housing donors normally tend to overlook the beneficiaries' actual needs, local traditions and values in the reconstruction process. Therefore, often resulted in dissatisfaction or rejected houses. So, evaluating the spatial provision of post-disaster housing reconstruction together with traditional living values will reveal whether these values had transformed or persisted from pre-flood to present condition. So this research argues that it is important to assess this housing reconstruction from the residents' occupancy experience to discover whether this housing project supported the post-disaster recovery or whether more assistance is required. Therefore, having said that, this research seeks to gain insights into post-flood housing reconstruction and local housing practice in a village in Kuala Krai district, Kelantan, one of the hardest hit areas in unfortunate 2014 flood in Malaysia. So this research aimed to explore the beneficiaries' experience living in the constructed houses by understanding their spatial requirement for pre-flood housing practice and traditions. Sorry. The objectives are to assess the physical attributes of the reconstructed houses against their pre-flood traditional values and to analyze the response to any changes or continuity of these values while living in the house. So traditionally, people in rural areas are involved directly in building their own houses. So scholars have mentioned that in post-disaster setting, this similar process can be done, provided that they are given adequate support. So literatures also demonstrated that it is important to integrate social-cultural factors, including traditions and cultures, into the design and planning of post-disaster housing. And the lack of this consideration often evident in house sizes, layout style, exterior space, choice of building materials, and infrastructure services. This can be also seen in multiple research, for example, in Aceh, whereby Aceh's housing practices philosophy were ignored by the housing donors. Therefore, the occupants were dissatisfied and they had to modify their house. In Sri Lanka, for example, the cultural attributes and religious beliefs were also being ignored, therefore negatively affected their daily lives. In the case of Tamil Nadu in India, the housing process is actually a ritualized social event, and the housing donors had also overlooked this process and their needs, which deprived the community's history, dignity, and also cultural identity. To understand further on this research scope, I will share briefly the rural Kelantan, rural tradition in Kelantan in the context of Malay house. If you can see this graphic here depicted a typical Malay house, whereby the housing layout allows for best combination of space and function. Is normally built with a system that allow future expansion. For example, if you can see this graphic here, this sketch here, this front portion is built with timber, whereby this one look like it is built with brick wall. And the distinct feature you can see in this both of these sketches are the houses are built on stilts. So therefore, creating an empty space under the house, which called kolong, and it is actually multifunction and multi-purpose area used for gathering between neighbors and families and etc. So space configurations are actually influenced by belief system, which is the Islamic values, living traditions, cultures, which include gender segregation and privacy. As you can see here at the front portion of the house is the main entrance, whereby the guest will be entertained here at this Surambi portion over here, and women will normally will be welcomed at the rear part of the house through planta, or if there's no planta in the house, the staircase would normally be connected directly to the kitchen.
Thank you. I like your detailed presentation, but you have only 4 minutes.
Okay, all right.
So you have to move faster.
Okay, thanks, Prof. Okay, this study adopted case study as research methodology, and we had conducted semi-structured interview and observation. And our population is in Manik Urai Baru, sorry, Manik Urai Lama, whereby all the houses recipients are from Rumah Kekal Baru, or the new permanent house in Manik Urai Lama. We adopted purposive sampling alongside with snowball sampling due to the challenges we encountered during the research. And eventually 36 respondents agreed to be interviewed. Roughly 2014 flood was one of the worst flood in Malaysia, and had swept across 9 out of 10 districts in Kelantan. So after that, the federal government had initiated the house replacement. We have 2 types of house replacement conducted by Public Works Department, or JKR, namely RKB1 and RKB2. RKB1, the distinct feature is the house is built on stilts, and this one is built on the ground. Okay, let's move on to the analysis. The space provision and of course spatial needs. Most RKB1 occupants perceive that the empty space underneath the house, which is the kolong, as their opportunity to have another space for their house. So most of them chose RKB1 because of they want to extend and they have more room for that. And RKB2 generally choose it for the extensive floor areas. We discovered that the floor area was the primary consideration is choosing housing type, right? So the next one would be the adaptation to functional and privacy needs. And as we can see here, a modest roof in RKB2 were provided. However, it's not ineffective to protect from weather. So most those in RKB2 constructed additional roof at the house, and seats are also provided here, as you can see here, even though in non-renovated. So it is also indicated that this community attempted to continue their traditions by modifying this house to support their needs. Moving on to kitchen provision and internal circulation, women were generally dissatisfied with this layout of RKB1 because it only had one entrance door, and it's also disrupt their internal circulation. Therefore, they constructed additional kitchen area or extended the area to have more kitchen area, and also to add another door at the back of the house, so that it will improve their internal circulation and recreate women's entrance at the rear part of the house. And people
let's give you 1 minute to round up.
All right, okay, Prof. All right, I'll go faster. And people, we discovered also this beneficiaries have transformed their house into places for economic means. Yeah, so these also indicate that they attempted to establish their pre-flood economic practice. Okay. Okay, as a conclusion for this research, we discovered that there's continuity of the pre-flood cultures and traditions in post-living condition, which is made possible by modifying the house. However, before that, they have to transform or alter their values, traditional values, yeah, before they can reestablish the tradition. And this signified that the values were disregarded when planning for post-flood housing in Kuala Krai, which ended up in culturally incompatible houses. As for contributions, this research had demonstrated the importance of evaluating local tradition, values, culture, and norms during occupancy stages, and evaluating this housing from community's perspective also crucial to determine the actual success of the project, so that we can improve where possible. And lastly, the result of the study shall be the learning tool for post-disaster management and reconstruction to facilitate improvement for future post-disaster housing reconstruction in Malaysia. And with that, I thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that presentation. Other participants, you heard the presenter. Are there questions or contributions you want to make to this research on post-flood housing? Something like that's related to culture, you know, how post-flood disaster housing attempts to recreate tradition or culture of the people. That's what it is about. Now, I have a question. In the traditional house that you presented, you didn't locate the toilet and bathroom, or maybe it is that it's not maybe written in English or something.
It's actually during the earlier houses, the toilets are actually built outside the house. So when the evolution of houses, where we have this water supply coming from the government, from the main supply, then the house, the toilet was built inside the house. But still, normally in rural areas, we have separated between toilet and the bathroom because of the hygienic issues and influence of Islamic values. Yeah.
Okay, that means both the toilet and the bathroom were traditionally outside the house.
Yeah, traditionally, yes, outside the house.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then, what's the most significant Malay culture that the post-disaster housing did not take care of? Exactly.
The most significant, I would say, in terms of the space provision, because in terms of Malay culture, we have segregation between gender, especially, and then the space provision did not allocate for this segregation, and they actually have to adapt themselves. So they have to provide additional door at the back and also extend the kitchen. And some households who did not have the financial resource to modify their house had to had to adjust their values and also tradition.
Okay, so that means the post-disaster housing were basically smaller than the traditional houses.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Most are
Do you think that this is a matter of finance, or is it that the post-disaster experts didn't want to keep to the tradition? No, I'm just speculating now.
Well, it could be both, I guess. But actually, according to literatures, people can actually build or develop their own houses or spaces tailored to their needs if they are given enough support. So in other countries, especially, they have done this mix of top-down and also bottom-up approach, whereby the beneficiaries or the affected communities were given the opportunity to actually build their own house, but they got the financial support from external support, as external assistance. So in that case, they can actually provide their own house that according to their needs.
Okay. Thank you once again. Are there any other comments or questions for the presenter? Okay. If there are no other comments, I think we'll go to the third presentation.
All right, thank you.
In this panel, which is SE002, a new paradigm in using bamboo as sustainable material for future building construction. A new paradigm in using bamboo as a sustainable material for future building construction. Is the presenter there?
I'm here. I'm trying to share the screen.
Okay, thank you.
Good.
Yes, that is the slide.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're seeing your slide now.
Right, we'll guide.
Okay.
You have to guide
All
us. Yeah, you have to guide us.
Okay. Thank you so much for helping me. Myself, Muhammad Zafrullah, my colleague Shamshida Ahmad, and my counterpart from Bali, Indonesia, Mr. Widi Nugroho. My topic today is a new paradigm in using bamboo as a sustainable material for future building. If you see nowadays, the world greatly affects the destruction of the environment with the deterioration of environment, such as quality of air, water, and soil, the destruction of ecosystem, habitat destruction, and the pollution. Rapid development of the world, which result the imbalance of Earth influence on the terrain and the emission of carbon gas on the ozone, which the problem of unpredictable weather and floods, tornadoes, and widespread haze white. Next, please. The impact of architecture on the environment, according to Encyclopedia, said that early 21st centuries, the half world resources estimate for 16% of planet total fresh water resources, 30 to 40% of the all energy supplies, and 50% of the weight of the all raw material withdrawn from the Earth's surface. That means on the waste landfill, 40 to 50% is distributed to architecture, and 20 to 30% of greenhouse emission. The United Nations disasters reduction defines the environment
Background tak dapat.
as a reduction of the capacity
Background tak ada.
of the environment to meet social, ecological objectives.
Can we just mute, sorry, can we just mute our speakers if we are not presenting?
The ecology sustainable development is the environment component of sustainable development. The construction industry has identified the negative environmental impact to using cement production. This is result in widespread interest in the need for the green material. The suggestion approach of the importance of preserving the earth by encouraging sustainable uses of natural resources like bamboo for construction purpose. Next, please. Next slide, please. Okay. Why bamboo? Bamboo is known as a green gold and has been sustainable material for construction, proposed as excellent properties, especially tensile strength. Naturally, bamboo plant grows worldwide. It's more than 1,500 species are distributed in wide world in tropical, equatorial, and semi-tropical climate. It is a fast-grown plant belonging to family of bambusae, require a short time to grow, wide available, low cost, and carbon sequestering natural resources. Bamboo is used in history is a material for construction and for the erosion control, positive features toward life such as prosperity, peace, and mercy. For non-biodegradable of other material compared to bamboo, environment loss due to timber felling and climate change via forest clearing. It is proven ability to replace a concrete and wood structure in terms of mechanical properties. Bamboo construction material are potential organic material for sustainable development. If you see here in UN Sustainable Development Goals, you can see about 6 sustainable goals that directly adopted in UN agenda. No poverty, affordable, clean, sustainable cities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, and life on land. Next, please. A study found in the construction industry state the bamboo perform conventional brick and reinforcement cement building. It can be one major replacement of steel and concrete in reinforcement, with the aim of improving the economical aspect along the ecological benefit. It contributes towards the design like foundation, structures, floor, roof, room divider, and so on. The structures treated with the chemical and preservation and can span until 40 years and proven rigorous enough to withstand earthquake. You can see in the slide, okay, the material can be fast growing. It can replace the food, sustainable food, can absorb carbon and release oxygen, stronger than iron with the same weight. Materials are very unique, ecological, green, and sustainable. With new innovation and construction, it will be marvelous. Next, please. Next slide, please.
Next slide, please.
Okay, this is the application of bamboo. If you can see about 5-star here, there are Bambusa, there are Bambusa vulgaris, there are AicE-Bs.
Please, you have 2 minutes more.
2 minutes more. Okay.
Yes.
In traditional, there are grows in tropical rain forests. Okay. In short time, 3 to 5 years, you just can use it for construction. By the bamboo trees will actually release the oxygen and can release more oxygen to the world. Next, please. Okay, this you can see the studies and the analysis of construction has been studied before. Okay, and our focusing the study is much more on the new trend, designing the future on bamboo as a sustainable material. Next, please. Next slide, please. Okay, this is the studies of bamboo in architecture over the world. Next, please. Okay, this is a comparison of the structural element. There are 3: non-form active, semi-non-active, and another thing is form active. Okay, next, please. Bamboo is designed by the character, is very rustic, and which enhance the design team, a material that offers a new approach and confirm artistry needs of designers and has that uniqueness of design will create demand and search for the new material. Most of the building in Bali from bamboo are related to hospitality as resort, hotel, restaurant, and clubs. The construction required builders who are expert and skilled in bamboo construction, as well as designed by designers. Do a special construction with sustainable material that are close to the nature character. Because bamboo can be become unique. As a result, the evolution of building shape and form has become a more dynamic, moving and flowing. Okay. The conclusion is, okay, this is some of the example of the building in Bali. Next, please. The conclusion is the use of bamboo as sustainable building is organic shape building prove potential because the nature and properties of the bamboo are capable to accommodate it for future construction. Organic shape building as a trend generally developed using from the active structure system and the understanding of the nature properties of bamboo, the knowledge about structure system, bending method, knowledge about the joinery system is also needed. However, the use of bamboo as a sustainable building material still arises a question about preservation methods. Therefore, we can use bamboo in reliable and responsible manner for the future in change such notion and perception through architecture construction. It provides a more dramatic and interesting solution. With that, it can make it one of the material that can go further in the future. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much for that presentation. Fellow participants, do we have any comment on this paper, a new paradigm in using bamboo as a sustainable material for future building construction? Okay, let me ask, I just want to ask the presenter, what kind of research will you say you have carried out on bamboo, on this paper?
This paper is actually is on bamboo construction buildings.
Okay, is it a review paper, or because when I look at it as you are advocating the use of bamboo, of course we know that you have enunciated so much on the qualities of bamboo that makes it a sustainable material. There's no doubt about that. So you are advocating that bamboo is a sustainable material for the future, right?
Yeah. The study is actually focusing on the new trend of designing the future with the bamboo.
Okay. So after this study, what's coming next?
It's actually I just coming back from Bali doing a sabbatical leave, and then we're doing visual observation of the building construction from bamboo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's basically a visual, you took a visual observation of it.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm thinking that for the future, if you really want to problematize this research, maybe you are going to take particular case studies of these buildings that have been made in Indonesia with bamboo, you know, maybe like an analysis of structural and non-structural uses, you know, something that that goes into the construction of it, like you said, you know, the building construction, the designing in bamboo, and maybe constructing in bamboo. All these properties, sustainable properties, maybe it could be demonstrated in a particular intensive study of, because I mean, looking at those buildings that have been made in bamboo, truly, they are fantastic, you know. Yeah. So at least in the tropical climates where you have a lot of bamboo, like in Africa and in Asia, you know, instead of using bamboo just for formwork, you know, we find demonstrated uses, you know, in places where they have actually used them. So are there any other contributions to this paper?
This is just introduction of the paper, actually, because I'm also at the moment writing a book on bamboo construction. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Maybe 2 or 3 months later, I will share new book.
All right.
Yeah.
So you didn't want to give us in
then
roads into your book already. You have some things hidden in your book Okay.
Okay.
Hello. Okay. I think it's my network, or is it the network over there? So are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Okay. Are other participants hearing me too? Other participants in this session, are you hearing us?
Yes, bro.
All right. Thank you very much. Do you have any other questions or contributions for the Okay. If there are no other questions or contributions, we'll take the next presentation then.
Thank you, bro.
Which is, yeah, thank you for that presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We look forward to your book. All right. So we have SE003, an analysis of sustainability approaches. Of Malaysian public universities. The presenter is here. I think the screen, it's already sharing screen. Do we have the foreign co-author around with us? Dr. Azarina. Is your co-author here? The international one?
Not. No, he's not.
He's not here.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So you can go ahead. You have 10 minutes.
Oh, just 1 second. Yeah, 1 second.
All right, 1 second.
Okay, so I guess you guys are able to see my screen. Am I right? Just to confirm.
Yes, I am seeing it clearly. I hope others too are seeing it.
Okay. So shall I start, Prof?
Yes, please start.
Okay. Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to everyone. So my name is Azarina Zakaria and I'm from Universiti Teknologi MARA, Malaysia. I'll be presenting a research topic with regards title as an analysis of sustainability approaches of Malaysian public universities. So basically this research is a collaborative research with the respected professor from the Cadi Ayyad University, Professor Zaka. So allow me to explain about the background of the study. Yeah. So according to the Sustainable Development Goals Reports 2022 produced by the United Nations, it has been highlighted that the agenda for the Sustainable Development Goal, SDG, is in a grave danger. So this is due to the confluence of impact comes from the COVID-19 pandemic, conflicts between countries, global warming. So somehow that kinds of circumstances has put the agenda of the SDG in a state of a grave danger. So another report by the International Associations of Universities 2023 highlighted the importance of higher education, particularly the university, to address the global challenges identified in the United Nations Agenda 2030. There is another additional information that has been published in the Sustainable Development Goals Report 2022, where the report mentions that for the worldwide people to be able to address the grave danger of the SDG, it requires a concerted effort from everyone worldwide. So universities has been regarded to play an important roles in addressing the global challenges of the SDG. However, many scholars argue that the sustainability approaches that has been embedded by the university somehow is lacking in terms of integrating the framing of sustainability into their governance and business model. So with regards to these premises, so our collaborative research intends to illuminate or intends to clarify the current approaches of the Malaysian public universities in anchoring sustainability for their teaching, research, innovation, and operation agenda. So a little bit of literature review before I go to the findings of the study. So the term sustainability derived from the Latin terminology. So a scholar known as Clarion in 2018 defined sustainability as a capacity to maintain some entity, outcome, or process over time and carry out activities that do not exhaust the resources on which that capacity depends. But it is worth to note that sustainability does not confine to the area of environmentalism. Sustainability embed another dimensions of economic as well as social aspect. So in other words, sustainability embed a greater, I would say, a greater platform, not just based on environmentalism, but it also encompasses the aspect of the social as well as the economic dimensions of a country. So this is basically the well-known 17 SDGs by the United Nations. So about 193 countries all over the world basically have committed to frame their agenda, particularly the political policies with regards to the 17 SDG goals. So a little bit about sustainability and Malaysian universities, and how eventually it will be able to clarify the importance of our collaborative research. So according to Hussein and Kunju Rahman, they articulate that research on sustainability and campuses in Malaysia is still in its infancy, with only a few attempts carried out by the local researcher. So another scholars, they also argue that although sustainable higher education is imperative in Malaysia, however, there is yet to found a comprehensive study, especially on the public higher education initiative and efforts with regards to the sustainability. So another point that I think worth to be highlighted, existing studies for Malaysian universities that currently, I would say, available in the literature, appears to be positioned into the fields of environment. So as I've mentioned just now, sustainability does not only embed the elements of environmentalism, it also includes the social aspect as well as the economic aspect. So that is something that has been asserted by the McGill University, that sustainability is a concern beyond environmentalism.
Dr. Zarina, you only have 4 minutes more. So
4 minutes, okay. Faster. I'll try to be quick. Okay, 4 minutes more. Okay, so this is the method. So basically this study involved 2 case studies. So these 2 case studies are basically top 10 universities in Malaysia. So one is a research university and another one is comprehensive university. So how did we do the analysis? So basically we make use of the sustainability report of the year 2021 that are available in the respective university website. So now we go to the findings. So generally, based on our examinations of the report, we found that both universities did quite well in terms of embracing the aspirations of the sustainability with regards to their agenda. However, we found that the research university as well as the comprehensive university, they have a slight difference of focus of SDG that they embed in their agenda. So now we move to the main findings of the study, which regards to the sustainability approaches of these 2 universities. So basically, when we do the thematic analysis, we found that the main theme that represent the sustainability approach of this university can be classified into 3. The first one is the impart knowledge, technology breakthrough, and strategic alliance. Okay, the impart knowledge basically came from efforts such as webinar, conferences, awards, dialogue, and exhibition. So I'll give example. For example, case 1, they did a door-to-door technical visit to a local island to raise awareness about vaccine preventable and communicable diseases to promote healthy living amongst the people. So the case study too, they did an online campaign to empower the public members with regards to the indoor planting. Okay, so with regards to the technology breakthrough, so this is basically, I would say the efforts come from the research and consultancy projects of these two universities. C1, which is the research university, I think they did a very good job in terms of they're able to build up a remote control water surface robot prototype, which is make use of the AI technique to track and trap trash and sample lake water for water quality monitoring. Yeah. And C2, I think this is also interesting as well. They are basically in the process of producing an alternative materials for water treatment through the local bamboo charcoal. Yeah. And the last sustainability approaches that we noted from the report is that these two universities, they tend to have a strategic alliance or cooperative initiative in order for them to be able to realize their aspiration with regards to the SDG. For example, the case one, which is the research university, they collaborated with a local private university and also an NGO, which specialized in biotechnology to promote banana industry in Malaysia with regards to how to go about to improve the nutrition in our society in Malaysia. And C2, which is a comprehensive university, in partnership with an international university in Netherlands, they basically hosted an international online seminar to showcase Malay literature and culture. Okay, just a little bit more before I stop. Okay, so we come to the discussions. So basically, as I've mentioned earlier, there is I would say a different focus of SDG found between the two universities. And C2, which is the comprehensive university, they tend to be more diverse in terms of the focus of the SDG compared to S1. Okay, why? Because S2, according to the 3 classification of SDG with regards to the one proposed by the European University Association 2018, that SDG can be reclassified into 3 components: well-being, environment, and economy. So C2 is more diverse in such a way they embrace elements of well-being and environment. However, C1 purely focusing on well-being. So the reason being is that C1, they have this teaching hospital university, teaching hospital, which is very well known in Malaysia. So they have a research center which is attached to that teaching hospital. So they have won many awards and many findings that basically has been regarded as a good findings. So in that sense, it is something.
Zarina.
Yeah, is it?
And we'll give you 1 minute to round up.
Okay. So in conclusion, what I can conclude is that the SDG aspirations of the university somehow can be influenced by the university category. The research university are more innovative. They are basically have more innovation breakthrough compared to the comprehensive university. Yeah. With regards to, there is another point that I would like to highlight with regards to the finding as well, because SDG is not about environmentalism. It also includes social as well as economic. So what we found from the study is that both universities, they have a little effort that confined to the economic dimension. So in future, we would like to suggest that the Malaysian Public University to embrace all the 3 elements, the 3 dimensions of the sustainability, environmentalism, the social approach, the social dimension, as well as the economic dimension for a better approaches that would, I would say, would align with the United Nations SDG goal. So with that, I end my presentation. Thank you very much. I'm so sorry, I'll exceed the 10 minutes. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Zarina, for that presentation. Yes. Yes, Babatunde is here.
Yeah,
all
okay.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Okay, just note that, just open.
Okay. Do you want to comment on the last presenter's presentation? All right, the other, do you have comments for Dr. Zarina for our presentation? I have, I know that in your presentation, you went straight to sustainability and Malaysian universities. Did you do any pre-work on sustainability and universities in other places?
Correct me if I was wrong. So your question is about whether I do have any other pre-research with regards to the sustainability other than Malaysian public university? Is that what?
No, sustainability and universities from elsewhere, maybe from Europe, from the Americas, from Australia, from New Zealand, or from Africa.
So whether
that do you whether you have studies on sustainability and these other places?
Okay, so with regards to this sustainability analysis, so this is my first research which looking into the sustainability analysis. So the team, however, we do not have any attempt with regards to the analysis that look into other continents or perhaps other countries, but perhaps we would be considering to look into other continents in the future to extend our research paradigm.
Okay, well, because what I thought is that maybe if you find out whether they've done studies that are similar studies elsewhere about sustainability of universities elsewhere, maybe in Europe, in the Americas, in the Far East, you know, that it would be nice to have them. So you are using them as some kind of basis, you know, to build on. So you are not on your own, because now you're looking at sustainability and Malaysian universities, and then you're doing it on your own because you are not building it up on maybe something that has been done elsewhere. So it's good for you to consider elsewhere. That's just my suggestion. Then after you've done this research now, what's going to be the next line of action? Your next research, future research or future studies? Is it going to be in this area too?
Okay. My area is basically in management, Prof. In management. So one of the things that I'm interested at the moment is about sustainability. So apart from that, I also have a research which I look into diversity and inclusion in the workplace. So with regards to your question, Prof, I would say that perhaps in the future, I would like to go into a specific SDG to explore in detail rather than go into the broad SDG. So that would be my intention, especially SDG, which somehow having a lack of emphasis by, I would say, many countries, especially developing and underdeveloped countries. So those would be my interest in the next coming years, Prof.
Okay, because you said, I know you broke down sustainability into the economic, the social, and the environmental. And you are looking into the universities as you said you are into management mostly. Somewhere along the way, you mentioned something about government, the business model. Is the business model of the C1 and C2 universities affecting their engagement with sustainability?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes, from our investigations of the report. So I'll also take a look into the strategic directive overall of those two universities. So we found that to the great extent, the aspirations, the embracement of the SDG goals for each university is largely depending on the strategic directions of the university. So to address your question, it is definitely, it's a big yes. It's a big yes, Prof.
Okay. Yep. Thank you very much. Are there any other comments for Dr. Zarina or contributions? Yes, if there are no other contributions, thank you very much. We'll move to the next presentation.
Thank you.
Which is on, yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you, Prof. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Green warehouse practice. Please don't go away. We want your contribution to the next paper on green warehouse practice, critical issues in drone technology adoption. The presenter is there.
Good day.
Okay.
Can you hear me, Prof?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Is your international author present?
Unfortunately not. He's not here.
Okay, not here. Okay. All right. So
okay,
you have 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you so much. All right. Today I will be presenting the report title on the green warehousing management. Okay, the adoptions of drone technology. Me myself, together with the industry expert, Mr. Koo, my partner from the same university, Prof. Vera, as well as my associate partner as well from the International University from Indonesia, Dr. Muhammad Anas. So this is our title, okay, and I start with this background of the study. All right. So as we all know, okay, drone has become a widely used in a variety of industries, including warehouse operations. So our research today, we are going to focus much on these warehouse operations because this is very important. We noticed that drone are used by warehouse operator to boost output, improve stock control, as well as reliability and safety, and to cut costs as well. So this is the purpose of having drone technology inside the warehouse operations. As we all know, okay, a drone can perform inventory audits and cycle count with a very limited time, okay, which is the human being capability is very limited. That's why we are required to have this drone technology assistance, okay, because drone offers high productivity, okay, this one, okay, high productivity, fast speed, great precisions, require little to no skills, as well as it is simple to adopt. So this is the main, okay, the main idea why drone technology adoption is very important in the warehouse operation. Now, the issue is that, okay, why leads us to do this kind of study is because the present warehouse management system is incompatible with this new technology system. So this is one of the issues that leads to majority of these practitioners are not adopting the drone technology, particularly in Malaysia, because we are focusing in Malaysia, okay, study. The next one is when goods are protrude from pallet or barcode tag tier or cut from the cutting edge, the drone is unable to detect them. So this is another issue that being brought as the main issue that limit the adoptions of the drone technology. The next one is drone cannot scan the entire pallet. Okay, drone can only scan the racking front face. So this is the another issue that being faced by majority of this practitioner when they are thinking in the way on adopting the drone technology. The next one is drone have a limited time, okay, flight time because of the battery itself. And the last one is stakeholders have little interest in drone adoptions due to lack of awareness. So majority of our practitioner here, they doesn't aware, okay, on the benefits of drone technology in terms of the security itself, public reactions, as well as government regulations issue is not clear yet, okay, in adopting the drone technology. So this is some of the issues that we found out that leads to our objective of the study, which is the primary objective of this study is to investigate what is the other issues to drone technology adoptions among the Malaysian warehouse operator in realizing the green warehouse practice. So we want to know more, okay, other than this issue that we have discussed, okay, what is the other issue that leads the practitioner are not adopting the drone technology? So from our research, okay, we started with this literature review. Okay, some of the author found already mentioned that drones are portable, highly maneuverable, and have both indoor and outdoor capability. So this is by Castro, all right, 2021. Another one is that, okay, green warehouse practice is essential, okay, for the logistics sector because of mounting demand and environmental concerns over the carbon footprint. That's why the drone technology adoption is very important to ensure that we can reduce the carbon footprint. This is by Azman 2015. And then the next one by Zin et al. Mentioned, all right, drone adoptions could significantly enhance overall warehouse operations. And of course, drone technology also, okay, is very good because it's operated by human, but most of this drone technology is operated autonomously. So this is by Iqbal 2021. Another one is that the importance of having this warehouse management adoptions of technology is because of intended to reduce cost and carbon footprint by Wahab 2018. Nair 20 also supported that the drone technology poses the potentials, okay, to significantly increase the efficiency and efficacy of the overall green warehouse practice. So this is some of the literature review to support our study to mention that how importance of the drone technology towards the green warehouse management. Okay. This is the methodology that we gone through. We adopted the qualitative approach through a series of focus group and interviews. So this is the list of the person that we interviewed. All together is 8. However, we cannot reveal, okay, the name of the expert because of the confidentiality. All right. So majority of this expert, they are having more than 13 years of experience. So we believe that all of these experts, okay, experts are very good in their field of green warehouse as well as the technology adoptions. So from our interview, from our focus group, okay, from our discussions, this is what we found. Okay, so despite the issue that we have discussed earlier, so this is another 27 issues that being highlighted by the 8 practitioners. Okay, they mentioned that this is all the main issue that being stop. Okay, a majority of the issues is the influencing factors that not encourage, okay, practitioner to adopt the drone technology. So among of these 27 issues, what we are doing is that we group it into the cluster. So we divided into 5 clusters, which is we try to make it very clear. All right, among of these 27 issues, we come up with this cluster. Number 1 is absorptive capability. Barrier number 2 is because of the stakeholders integrations and collaborations. Barrier number 3 is because of the technological infrastructure. Number 4, because of the government support and promotions. And the last one is because of the perceived cost. So each and every barrier, we conclude that, okay, for example, number 1, barrier number 1, absorptive capability, okay, because of the adaptability issue, okay, from the issue number 2 here. All right, so we group it, all the issues, into 5 main clusters, so that when the future research need to be done, it's easy for us, okay, to ensure that this is all the 5 main clusters that we have to look into and to enhance further. All right.
Okay, Dr.
So from
Wahab,
yeah,
you have 3 minutes more.
Okay.
So
Finalizing now.
faster.
Okay. All right, now. So moving forward, so this is the discussions of the study. Despite the qualitative approach, okay, this finding will help the academicians and practitioners to understand further, okay, the importance of technology, drone technology, and provide the foundations for the future research. Right. However, more empirical research needed, okay, to validate all the issues that we found, and of course, we, despite only 8 what we call it respondents, so we should also include, okay, the opinion from the relevant government agency as well as the authorities. All right, so again, this study is only focused on drone technology, but we suggest that the future research could focus more on the different, okay, technology, including AI, robotic, and so on. As a conclusion, okay, the adoption of drone technology is plugged by 5 primary issues that we have discussed earlier, okay, all the 5 clusters. So the issues, okay, identify, rise the possibility for future research, and can also be connected to the TOE framework. So this is the TOE framework that we can relate into all the 27 issues that we have found out, right? Number 1 is environmental factors, organizational factors, and technological factors. So I believe that's the only findings that we have for now. Prof, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Wahab, for that presentation on green warehouse practice and the use of drone technology. Okay, do we have comments for her? Okay, you you didn't tell us exactly the extent of drone adoption in the context of your study. Anyway, the title of your study does not even give it any context. You talked about green warehouse practice, critical issues in drone technology adoption. In Malaysia, right?
Yep.
Okay, so it's in Malaysia. Now, what is the extent of drone adoption?
Okay, basically, this is part of the study under the green warehouse practice. So under the green warehouse practice, we have a lot of areas that we can explore more. One of the area is the technology adoptions. Okay, when we are talking about the technology adoptions, we try to focus first at the drone technology because this is the current practice that the Malaysians practitioners are in practicing, despite the other technology. For example, AI, robotic is not yet present. Not yet practice in Malaysia. That's why we are not able to get a lot of feedback. But drone technology, we have a few companies that already implemented. That's why we focus on drone technology first as the effort towards the green warehouse practice. Perhaps in future research, we might further enhance, especially in the blockchain, because blockchains also have a few company in Malaysia that already implement.
Okay, so you might eventually explore the different technologies that's being used in drones for the green warehouse practice. Okay. Are there any questions or contributions to this? What other things can you, because the technologies for drones will seem to be like a combination of all these. AI, robotics, automation. Which ones are very common now?
In Malaysia, yes, we can see that drone technology is already in practice, but not from the small medium enterprise organizations. Mainly it's from the MNC company. We can see also the adoptions of IoT as well as blockchain technology. Okay, the other technologies which is very popular in Europe but not yet come to Malaysia. So that's why we are not able, okay, to study further on that kind of automation.
Okay. Okay. You're focusing your study on what is presently available.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'm just thinking aloud now. You know, in terms of the warehouse practices, maybe it's also good to actually study what are the warehouse practices now, and which are the ones that can be adopted, that drone technology could be adopted in somehow. Maybe that could be something even for the warehouse people, you know, to really be interested in. If you already know their activities and what they are using drones for now and what they are yet to use drones for, and then maybe try to match what drone is being used for and what is not being used for.
Hello,
Are
Prof.
there any other...
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, Prof. Yes, Prof. Good afternoon. I'm Maricel Co from Mali, West Africa. Can I have a question to Dr. Siti? Can I have a question to Dr. Siti Narida regarding the adoption of drones? Because I am now doing my research regarding the automation of warehouse inspection. So what would be the percentage of the adoption of drones in the warehouse practice?
You mean in Malaysia?
Can you? Yeah, in Malaysia.
I would say that less than 20%. Because what we can see is that most of the company which is already implemented this drone technology is a very huge company. SMEs, absolutely, they are not into it because of the cost factor.
Okay, so because this is one of my I also proposing this one drones apart from different automation inspection tools. So I'm also proposing drones. So what in your study, what would be your advice for the next researcher regarding these drones using in the warehouse inspection?
In my study, because this is a qualitative study, that's why for myself, me and together with the other co-authors, we might go further, okay, our research by employing the fuzzy Delphi technique, or we want to know the best worst method approach in order to know what is the strongest issues that being faced by this practitioner in adopting the technology, drone technology, because the current one that we have is mainly based on the feedback. Okay, but when we are running this fuzzy technique, Delphi technique, we will know better, okay, which is the main issue that leads into the barriers for them to adopt this technology.
Okay,
so perhaps,
thank
Doctor,
you so much.
perhaps also in future we might can collaborate as well.
Yeah,
All right,
sure.
that's
Yeah. Thank you, Prof. And thank you, Dr.
yeah,
Siti.
it's great. It's great to have a contribution. That's what conference is for. Sometimes you network. So I'll advise that you link up with one another and look at areas of collaboration, you know, in this regard. Thank you for that presentation.
Thank you
Are
so
there
much,
any
Prof.
other comments? Yeah, if there are no other comments, let's go to the next presentation then. Thank you, Dr. Wahab, for that
Thank you so
presentation.
much, Prof. Okay, bye.
So please stay on while we take the next presentation, which is on community participation in sustainable tourism, a case study in Bali, Indonesia. Is the presenter here?
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. So, are you ready with to share screen?
Yes, Professor Babatunde. This is Professor Melissa from Indonesia. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you. It's always interesting being here.
It's already very late in the night in Indonesia.
Wow. We should try and finish up early then.
Okay.
16:37.
Yes, I already share my screen. Okay.
Yes, your screen is clear. We're seeing it.
Yes. Okay, am I start, Prof?
Yes, you can continue.
Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good afternoon in Marrakech, but very, very late evening in Indonesia or in Malaysia. It's very late. All ladies and gentlemen and respected members of the community and all participants, especially Professor Babatunde and also Professor Yusuf. First, I would like to thank you for this chance to present our study. My other teams is Ms. Munazira and also Professor Julaihi Wahid from University Malaysia Sarawak, but unfortunately he is not available in this time. Maybe he's already in the bed.
Okay.
Okay, but Munazira is also, I mean, she is available here now with us. Now, I'm also a lecturer at the University of Sumatera Utara, Medan, Indonesia. Today, I would like to deliver my our paper. The title is Community Participation in Sustainable Tourism, a case study in Bali, Indonesia. The outline of my presentation, the first is the background and the purpose of the study. The second, the theory. Third is methodology. Fourth is finding and discussion. And the last is the conclusions. Okay, there are 4 indicators in developing tourism through sustainability, which are improving the quality of life, providing quality experience for the visitors, increasing local income, and conserving local resources. It is important to develop a tourist area on the shores of the Lake Toba because Indonesia has not shown significant development in the tourism sectors at the moment, at the times that study is conducted. To develop sustainability tourism by involving the community, providing direct benefits to the local, being able to overcome poverty and increasing regional development. This is in line with the SDGs goals. Therefore, this research aims to establish community participation, which will develop the economic aspect of the sustainable tourism in Bali. Sustainable tourism aims to improve the quality of life of local people by increasing benefits and minimizing the consequences found in destinations. One of the indicators that should be considered in the developing sustainable tourism is the economic aspect. There are a few of examples about people talking about how the aspects would help to develop sustainability. One of that, according to the Breakout, economic aspect will give impact to the quality of job and having job opportunities, qualified and serving working conditions. From all these theories, the economic aspect would create to have employment opportunities, make income stabilities, and help the locals to have a job. The important things in building tourism sustainability is community participation. A lack of community participation can affect the value of these goals to be achieved. There are 4 participating communities in sustainable tourism, which are participating in decision making, providing good services, developing infrastructures and facilities, and environmental conservation. Next is the methodology that discuss the methods and research locations. This research is from descriptive studies that utilize a mixed method. The quantitative method is involving 100 respondents, and it's divided into 25 questionnaires distributed in each tourist attraction area. The qualitative method is by interview with the informant who consider to have competence in the subjects and also doing an observation in the study area. And this is the research locations. From this map, you can see the research area is located in Bali Day, North Sumatra province, and in the Lake Toba area in Indonesia. There are 4 areas in Bali on this study, which are Lumban Bulbul Beach, Balerong Onan Market, DI Panjaitan Monument, and TB Silalahit Center Museum. This area will be the study for developing sustainable tourism through community participations. Next, I will step forward to the findings and discussions. From these tables, the first indicator is community participation in decision making. Participating in decision making can increase public awareness and involve the communities that play a role in the implementing subjects. People participating in the economic aspect are fully responsible for work, opportunity, and income without government intervention. Creating jobs opportunity in the tourism sectors will affect the community earning to have more income. So The community needs to participate in the development, such as making the policy and natures and culture-based tourism to be able to understand every aspect of the problem and guarantee its sustainability. The second indicator is community participation in providing goods or services. Participating in managing or marketing tourism products can improve economic welfare. The communities contribute to supporting the tourism development by selling food, souvenirs, and provide goods as a means of infrastructure for community services. The Bali Gay community has participated in providing goods and services related to economic aspect. This can be seen from the community participation at Balerang Kona Market in the pictures, where people come to shop or to sell crops and livestock. And the third indicator is the community participation in the development of infrastructures and facilities. And we also can see from the tables that we found that the infrastructures and facilities at the Bali Gay tourism area are all built by the governments with the input from the community through deliberation to avoid the violating local culture and wisdom. So having neat and clean facilities is enough to attract more tourists. The community needs to have a sense of ownership to have a sustainability. So these are the conditions of the facilities at the Lumban Bulbul Beach. Is the so sufficient, and the sitting area, gazebo, toilets are all well maintained and well functioned. But in the infrastructure at the Panjaitan monument still need to be appropriately maintained, and the park is in disarray and vandalism still can be seen on the monument platform. You can see from the pictures. And the last indicators is the community participation in environmental conservation. Environmental conservation has a direct impact on all aspects of people's life. Environmental conservation is to prevent, preserve, improve, restore, and repair. There have been many houses around the attraction in Bali Gay that have been converted into homestays. Homestay business plays a role in developing the land as a tourism area to accommodate tourists while also contributing to the local economy. So the community participation in managing waste originating from tourist activity to avoid environmental pollution and keep the environment clean so that tourists will feel welcome and comfort. And this is the conditions, the environmental condition that we found in Bali Gay tourism objects are clean and organized, except for the DI Panjaitan monument, which is still unappealing and still have polluted air because of its location in the middle of the city with lots of vehicles passing by.
Professor Nalisa.
Now I want to show you our conclusions.
Okay.
This study found that the most effective form of community participation in developing sustainable tourism in Bali Gay is providing goods or services. The community can directly feel the benefits from providing goods or services. Therefore, they have more sense of ownership and are also responsible and willing to work harder to gain more profit. And the last is for Bali Gay is the need to engage the community to participate more so that the benefit achieved from tourism so that sectors can continue to grow. This research is limited to the economic aspect of the sustainable tourism. Thus, there is still a need for further research regarding other aspects is needed to support the development of tourism. And the last is my presentation. I would like to present some recommendation. Based on this research, applying the concept of community participation is advised as it shows the significant impact on the local community that has been proven. The community also need to provide for the infrastructure and facilities in Balige tourist area so that it will look more presentable to the visitors. And the last, more integrated study and training are required to fully understand this approach efficiency and applicability. That's all my presentation. It's been great honor to be in this seminar, even though it's very, very late, and I would be very grateful if you could give input or comment to my presentation. Thank you. Good afternoon. Good evening. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much for that engaging presentation. So, do we have any comments?
No.
Considering that is very late, I just have a short question. How did you determine you were going to distribute 100 questionnaires and decide that it will be equal representation in the 4 locations, 25, 25, 25?
Okay. Thank you, Professor Babatunde. Regarding about the questionnaire that we are distributed, 100 questionnaires. First, of course, we are using the calculations that we have to collect actually 100, less than 100 actually, but we calculated 100, and after that because we do research for one area, one district. The name is Balige, and Balige have very distinct 4 locations for tourist attractions. That's why we divided equally to this area with questionnaires, 25 questionnaires. That's why we have to we make we divide equally within these places. And
well, it is okay once you at least justify it. Justify why you did that. You say you did some calculations and all that. It's fine. Once there's justification, it is good enough. I have another question. There's a particular park where you said you noticed some vandalism that's already taken place and that it needs some kind of maintenance. Is it that the people are not benefiting in terms of providing goods and services in that location? Or what could be the explanation?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Regarding about the vandalism that happened in this the area, because that area actually in the city. That's why we still need to have what they call it more.
Is this security or maintenance people?
This is only maintenance people. like for example, based on, can you show the slides? This one, yeah. Yeah, finally, yeah, this is very, this one, yeah. Yeah, this is, that's why they still need to be, I think the community should be more involved on this in this condition, because if this monument so important, then the locations or the objects should be maintained well. That's why in this area we suggest that the community will still need to be what do you call it?
Needs to participate.
Yes.
To be involved.
Yes. Yeah. Need. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I have an additional comment.
Yes.
I'm not. I don't know which comes first. Whether it is that the people that are selling goods and services, they are contributing to supporting tourism, or they are taking opportunity of tourism that the facilities have been provided by government, or it is that they are trying to participate in what government has already done, or it is government that is trying to provide facilities for them to be involved. Do you, maybe you don't understand what I mean?
I
know
understand.
Your paper.
Which
your
one
paper
come first?
Yes, it is vice versa. You said community participation in sustainable tourism, or is it sustainable tourism through community participation?
Yeah, I think that's it depends on the condition. I think in one is depend. If we are talking about how to make sustain for the tourism in one area, then the community participation is very important to be established. Then that can be, but in the same time, if there is a community participation there, maybe I don't know. I think we have to do research on this one, because my understanding in the theory, the one of the to achieve the sustainable tourism, then you should also encourage and also make sure the participation of the community. This is this is one key point if we are talking about sustainable tourism. Otherwise, the local people cannot get benefit from the tourism. This is, I think, the philosophy of sustainable tourism. That's my point, Professor Bakatunde.
All right, thank you, Professor Nolisa, for that presentation. However, the situation, the community must participate in tourism.
Yes.
However it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Are there any other comments for Prof? If there are no other comments, we should move to our last presentation for this session.
Okay. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Greetings to everyone in Indonesia. All right.
All right then.
Yeah. So TTE001. Okay. All right. Thank you. Let's take that presentation, travel behavior and perception of Malaysian airline passengers during endemic COVID-19. So if the presenter is ready, please share screen.
Okay, hi, Prof. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, we can hear your voice, but we can't see the.
Oh, not yet. I'm not slide yet. Okay, let me show this first.
All right, good.
Yeah, are you able to see my slide now?
Fantastic. Please
okay,
go
thank you,
on.
Prof. Okay, I'm so sorry for the technical problems. Maybe because of the internet connections, it's heavy raining right now in my place.
Wow.
So yeah, I will present on the topic of travel behavior and perceptions of Malaysia's airline passengers during endemic COVID-19. So I myself is Nur Fatihah Syari, and then my co-researcher is Abdullah Muhammad from University Malaysia Terengganu, Tay Shikin from Universiti Tunku Abdul Rahman, and the last one is Idris Nashir Bugaji from Nigeria, but all of my co-researchers is not here. I think maybe because of the late night right now in Malaysia. Okay, so I will proceed with the next one on the introductions. Okay, so as we know that climate change is the worldwide problems, and since today we are still having a problem in reducing these problematic things, which is climate change. And one of the contributions of the climate change, which we already know, which is the problems of the carbon emissions. So we know that carbon emissions is created in many ways, such as from the power industry or power factories, building, transportations, and also from the human activities. So thus, my research is not looking at the overall contributors of climate change, but we are only looking at the main problem from us, which is from the air transportations. Okay, so why did we choose air transportations as our focusing? Because air travel is an essential for international and domestic tourism, business travel and leisure, and it is really significantly impact to the environment. Because we know nowadays, if I want to travel to Nigeria, I cannot go with my car. I need to use the air transportations. And not only that, not only for the international, but also in the domestic destinations. Okay, so as you can see in here, for the introductions, this at the right, the pie chart here shows that the fossil carbon emissions by sectors. So we have the power industry, which is the largest one, 43%, and then other industrial combustions, 22%, transportations, 20%, non-combustions, and also building. But even though transportations is only on the third largest contributors for the fossil carbon dioxide emissions by sectors, but if you are looking at the left one, which is we have from the buses, the car, the motorcycles, the taxis, lorry, and so on. As you see, the airplanes is the largest one, contributes the grams of carbon emission per passenger per kilometer. Why it is happened? Because maybe all of you didn't see any black ashes come out from the air transportations, but it is because of air transportations we know is already top up there in atmosphere. So most probably the emissions come out from the air transportations if we go directly straight to the atmospheres. So that's why it is the most significant impact to the environment. Okay, so because of my topic is I'm looking at the post-COVID-19, or I will say on the endemic situations. So these are the data showing the air transport carbon dioxide emissions and also air passenger movement in Malaysia starting from 2014 until 2022, which is before COVID-19, during COVID-19, and also during endemic or the post-COVID-19. So as you can see, based on the air passenger movement in Malaysia, because my focus is only for the Malaysian passengers. So starting from 2018, which is before the COVID-19 pandemic, so we can see we have too many passengers using the air transportations. And then starting from the first phase of the COVID-19, which is on the earlier of 2020, the numbers of air passenger movement in Malaysia starting to decrease. Okay, from 19.1 billion to 0.8 billion. And then they started to increase again in Q1 2022, which is this one is where Malaysia started to open the border again, which is we cover up in the endemic situations. Okay, back to the air passengers, and now we refer to the air transport carbon dioxide emissions. Okay, because right now we are during the COVID-19 situations. Okay, as you can see, these are the air transport carbon dioxide emissions being released in the atmospheres in Malaysia. So in 2020, it decreased a lot from 2.1 million to 821,000 in 2020. And now it started to increase again in 2022 because of the opening borders for Malaysians and so on. Okay. So the problem statement and the objectives of the study, the MCO or the movement control orders, not only in Malaysia, but worldwide, and the large numbers of death cases reported in Malaysia because of COVID-19 hardly hit emotions and scare people. So these situations had caused a change in Malaysian travel behavior, not only when traveling with air transportations, but also with the train and also buses. Okay, so since COVID-19, not many researchers are able to study on the effects of COVID-19 to aviation industry, especially by looking at the passengers' behavior on traveling and how they react to carbon emissions polluted when flying. So the objective of the study is to investigate Malaysia's airline passengers' travel behavior and perceptions when traveling with air transportations. And the last one, to estimate the value of willingness to pay to reduce the emissions from the flight. So how are we going to reduce the emissions? Yes, we cannot make it as natural or 0% of emissions, but we can try to reduce it by using the carbon offset program. So what is carbon offset program? Carbon offset program, which is you can replace your emissions to another program. Okay, so these are the methodologies of this study, which is this study are using the quantitative survey. Okay, so we do the data collections in Kuala Lumpur International Airport 1 and Kuala Lumpur International Airport 2 by using the online survey. I'm doing the questions or surveying by using the Google form. So the number of respondents is 390 respondents, which is among Malaysians airline passengers. And the durations of the data collection starting from March until November 2022. And our respondent is targeting for those who are flying with the Malaysia's airline company, and also AirAsia for domestic and international flight. So the questions involved, which is we start with, have you ever traveled by air transportations? If the respondents say yes, then they are counted in survey. But if the respondents say no, then they are not counted in the survey. Okay, and the last one, if those who are never travel using the airplane, so they are also removed to continuing answer the survey. Okay, so the materials and method, which is the questionnaire is divided into 4 sections. Yeah, which is sections number 1, socio-demographic, number 2, passengers travel behavior, and number 3, passengers knowledge on carbon offset and carbon emissions. And these 3 sections we're using the descriptive analysis IBM SPSS. And the last one, I'm using the contingent valuation method by using the Stata software. So this one where I'm going to quantify the value of willingness to pay. So these are the results of the study, which is the respondents include 41.9% of male respondent and 58.1% of female respondent. And as you can see on the right in the chart part here, this showing the Malaysian airline passengers traveling frequency during endemic, which is after the pandemic COVID-19 situations. So as you can see, 41.79% only travel using the airplane 1 to 2 times. Okay, so most probably they are the reason why they are only travel for 1 to 2 times in the year, because they're still afraid to be together in airplane, because in airplane we know there are lots of people and they come from from different places. So we don't know their history of health and so on. So that's why people are still afraid to travel with the airplanes. Okay, and then on this table is the passengers' travel behavior. As you can see, we have lots of travels here, which is my travel behavior is likely to change due to coronavirus. If I travel to another country, depends on how the media is reporting about the country and so on. So most probably the answer given by the respondent is, which is they are strongly agree, which is their travel behavior is changes after the pandemic, after our world is being hit by the pandemic COVID-19. Okay, and the last, yeah?
2 minutes more.
Okay, and the last one, this will be the last one, which is that one is the part of the travel behavior. So now we are going to the estimations of the value for willingness to pay. So after we do the calculations for willingness to pay based on the demographic and also travel behavior, so the answer that we get, which is the mean value of willingness to pay, is 80 ringgit 68 cent for one destination. So let's say you are traveling from Kuala Lumpur to Kota Baru. So the additional fee or the additional from your airfare is 80 ringgit 60 cents. So let's say you are traveling for return, okay? So it means you need to times 2. So the total is 161 ringgit and 36 cents, which is this value is quite high as compared to the previous study. Okay, so as what we can see in here, even though our world were being hit by the pandemic COVID-19, and most probably people choose not to traveling by using the airplane, but the awareness about the climate change, about our environment is getting harmed, that is still there. People are still aware about this, and that's why they come out and our study come out with the value, which is the value during the endemic COVID-19 is still high, which is 161 ringgit 36 cents, which is more higher as compared to the value that we put for them to choose in our questionnaire. Okay, and that's all. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Fatiha, for that presentation.
Thank you,
do
Prof.
we have questions and comments for her?
Hopefully not.
Hopefully there will always be questions.
It's already late. I think everyone is sleeping.
Okay, so what is the next level in this research?
Okay, because right now, Prof, for your information, in Malaysia, we still didn't have any these implementations of carbon offset in air transportations. But as compared to the e-hailing, do you know e-hailing? We have Grab, we have Foodpanda in Malaysia. So they already insert or they already include this carbon offset for these transportations like motorcycles and car and so on, but not in air transportations, because as I see a study from Australia, Thailand, most probably the airlines, they already make it as the mandatory payment for the carbon offset. So if the passenger pay for the carbon offset, so we get all the value, all the payment from there. And then we can propose for the other company, which is they can do something, a project to reduce the emissions. So I really hope that I can propose my study to Malaysia Airlines and also AirAsia to continue to do on this research lah. Because previously in Malaysia Airlines, actually they already done on this carbon offset program, Prof. Back on 2012, if I'm not mistaken. But what happened, they didn't do any types of promotions to Malaysians. And mostly Malaysians are not aware about this kind of program, and they never know what is carbon offset. So by right now, because people are aware, they're more aware about the environmental problem, especially about the climate change, about the greenhouse gases and so on. So that's why when I do this study, mostly people start to understand, oh, we need to do this. This is good, which is you can collect the money and then you can reduce your emissions somewhere else. Not you are the one who need to reduce it. You just pay, but we can reduce the emissions from somewhere else lah.
So the implication is that the airfares that's been paid now does not break down the cost of whether there's a percentage that's for carbon emission or mitigation of carbon emission or for the other airfare. It does not show any breakdown.
As my knowledge, Prof, based on our Malaysian airline we have now, which is AirAsia and emAs, they never break down. They still did not break down the airfare to the this kind of carbon offset program, or how they're going to reduce the emissions from the airplane. But they already have their own way on how to reduce the emissions. For example, like AirAsia. AirAsia, if you're traveling by using the AirAsia, you need to pay extra if you want to bring your own luggage, the big size of luggage lah. But if your luggage is less than I can't remember, maybe 3 kilogram and below, then you are free to bring it inside. But if more than that, you need to pay, which is actually one of the way to reduce the emissions, because we know emissions from the airplanes is include the weight, the destinations, and so on. And another way that AirAsia done is they separate the trash in the airplane. They have two types of plastic, the white color and also the green color. So the green color will be the trash that you can recycle. And then the white color will be the usual trash lah. So that is how they try to do to reduce the emissions right now. But for my information, since my knowledge, they are still did not break down the airfare to reduce the emissions.
Okay, thank you very much for that explanation. Are there other questions or issues that anybody wants to raise with Dr. Fatiha, other than ask her, what is your most significant finding?
Sorry, Prof?
What is your most significant finding in this research?
Okay, actually my research, this is the continuous research from my PhD studies and until now. Okay, as I can say, as I go to count on the money in terms of how much they are willing to pay, the most significant things that I found in my study is in terms of the behavior itself from the Malaysian passengers. So from there, I can see that Malaysian passengers, they are we still lack of in terms of awareness about the environment ones. And then the second one is when you need to pay more, then it's going to be a big problem for them. So most probably, I already, actually my research, we already proposed to the ministry on how we're going to make it real. Because most countries, they already make it as the mandatory payment, but we try to do it in voluntary payment. So as I go on the field, we already get the real, I not say the real data, but this is how Malaysian people react to our study. And yeah, I really hope that my study can be achieved in one day, which is AirAsia emAs can try to apply it in their airlines industry, Prof.
All right, thank you very much. We would like to appreciate everyone. We thank Dr. Fatia for that presentation and every other presentation in this session. We'd like to appreciate everyone that stayed on in spite of the timing not being good for some people. Although if you think it's afternoon here too, it's very hot in the afternoon here. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks, Prof.
Professor
Babatunde.
Melissa.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, Prof.
It's freezing cold in Marrakech.
Wow, it's very hot here. So hot.
It is hot outside, but I'm freezing actually.
Wow, unbelievable.
Right. Thanks a lot.
That's how the world is.
Yeah, it has been a good day today. Just like slight technical, but Alhamdulillah, it was good. And thank you very much again. Hope to see you in Bangkok. Yeah.
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 Which is next month.
6 months away.
Right. Thanks all. For those who will be presenting face to face tomorrow, we will be sending the email address, the link, yeah, to your email. Right.
Okay.
One hour before the opening ceremony, which is at 9 o'clock Moroccan time. All are invited. Right. It has been a long day. Thank you very much. I also have to need a rest.
All right. You need it. Everyone needs it.
Everybody needs a rest now.
Everybody needs rest.
Right. Thanks, all. Thank you.
All right.
See you.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, thank you very much.
See you next time.
See you next
See
time.
you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.